Peace, this is your brother Jamal Brown, aka Mr. Black365, creator of the Black365 calendar, Black History cards, A to Z character traits in me, a Black History book as well, all found at blackhistorycards.com. Coming at you once again to discuss the movie The Banker. Banker just came out March 20th, 2020. The family and I had an old school movie night. We cut off all the lights, put away the cell phones for the most part, and watched this 2-hour movie that I must say that I enjoyed. I'm not going to give away any spoilers. I'll give a quick review and highlight one key aspect of the movie that is important. But again, best of my knowledge, best of my research thus far, the movie is pretty accurate, and I think that Apple did a really good job with this film. The movie, for those who may not know, starts off in the year 1939. Bernard Garrett Sr. was a young boy shining shoes in a small town in Texas. On the affluent side of town, there he heard about all these sort of real estate terms and jargon and information. And as a young boy, he began taking notes, which was a really key aspect in my opinion. A lot of times these movies want to show like these mythical black people who have this just been bestowed with some magical abilities, what have you. But one thing I really enjoyed about the movie is that it showed the young man taking notes. Even as he transitioned into adulthood, he constantly had the same notebook where he had all these terms and ideas and mathematical formulas and equations regarding real estate and banking that he constantly referred to. Again, showing hard work, dedication, nothing beats those things. But so he grows up, and in the 1950s, he moves to Los Angeles. There he begins, using some of those tips and tricks and techniques and ideas that he learned as a child in terms of real estate, and began buying real estate beyond the red line. The red line, I'm going to come back to that point in a minute. From there, he teams up with Joe Morris, played by SamuelLJackson. They get into some commercial real estate by the largest commercial real estate building, the Bankers Building, 629 South Hill Street, if I'm not mistaken, in Los Angeles. They purchased that, then they purchased a couple banks. Again, I won't give any more spoilers. I think you get most of that from the PR. On this film wasn't that great. There's some specific reason why. You can Google those why the PR wasn't great. We won't get into that right now either. But again, the film, pretty good film. Really enjoyed it. Pretty accurate from what I've been able to discover thus far. I want to go back to that point of redlining. So the person played by Anthony Mackie, again, Bernard Garrett Sr., he purchased all of his real estate in Los Angeles beyond the red line. For those who are unfamiliar with the term redlining is a term where banks literally would draw a red line on a map and say, we're not giving loans to black people outside of this red line. Wow. The purpose of this is to contain all people from a socioeconomic background or particular race in a area and deny them access to capital, in essence denying them access to one of the greatest wealth building strategies, one of the greatest wealth building vehicles known in capitalism, which is real estate. Once you've done that, you've effectively determined the property values, the property taxes. Low property taxes leads to poor street maintenance. Low property taxes leads to poor schools, access to emergency medical services, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The Community Reinvestment Act of 1977 supposedly done away with redlining, but I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt, I can tell you as a matter of 100% fact that redlining did not stop in 1977. My family were victims of redlining when they moved to the northernmost part of Los Angeles County in the late 1970s, early 1980s. Real estate agents literally would not show them houses in certain areas. As a result, my first memories in life were in a mobile home park, because my parents could not afford, or were not shown, I should say, houses in the areas that they wanted to live. So we lived in a mobile home park. Then eventually, a few years later, my family moved to a certain part of town, which was not the good part of town. So I grew up my entire life in what's called the not good side of town. And I have a confession to make here. I never went to school beyond the first grade on my side of town. My parents knew that the access to better quality education only resided on the opposite side of town. So my whole life I went to school on the other side of town. Hopefully the statute of limitations is up. Hopefully nothing can come back on me. But for high school, like many people, some people, I guess, I used my play cousin's address to go to a particular school. Eventually, I became the first black valedictorian from that high school, earned $50,000 in scholarships, accepted to 8 universities. It's because of the grit It was because of the hard work, dedication, internal motivation that I learned from the people from the side of town where I grew up on. Again, those endearing qualities of just getting in how you live and handling your business. Again, being a real one, if you will. I learned those qualities from where I lived at, took those with me across town each and every day, applied those lessons inside the classroom, and again, became my high school's first ever black valedictorian. But again, redlining is what we're talking about here. It was a devastating technique that has been used, and in my opinion, and from my research, continues to be used to, again, cut certain people out of access to wealth building for their generations. The movie, The Banker, touched on this a little bit. Good movie. I recommend that you check it out. Also, as always, check out blackhistorycards.com, blackhistorycards.com. This is Brother Jamal Brown, signing off for now. Peace.